We're on the roof at 315 West Vine Street in Reading. It's a neat old church right there. This is the street side. So, like you were talking about yesterday, there's no front entrance here. What we have here is we have the box gutters. Looks pretty familiar. We have a rubber membrane down inside there. It looks newer. This roof, let's say, is less than 5 years old. And it looks like they did the lining for the box gutters at the same time. With a couple exceptions. And a few areas here. This upper roof, one down to this lower roof. Very degraded. You can see this tar, and you can see how it's cracked. It's just not doing a very good job of holding out water. And it's the original wooden box gutter below. And it's weathered. It's not showing a whole lot of rot. Showing some wood rot actually down here. Yeah, this has holes in it. There's holes there. So what someone's done is they've covered it with aluminum trim work to try to preserve that, but that wasn't sealed properly and it's come off, and it's just further degrading that box gutter. I'd recommend some of these areas, like you could replace this with just a regular old, aluminum style gutter like on this house. I'd like to see that sealed where the valley kind of goes into the box gutter also. Maybe they had the intention of replacing that and just never got around to it. Also, I'd like to see a downspout extension that runs from this downspout down the lower roof. And it's like that on the other side also. I'll show you that in a second. Also, another thing I wanted to point out. I don't know how well you can see in the video, but there's a slight bulge here where they replaced the roof decking. They used a thicker decking than the original. I haven't been in the attic yet, so I haven't viewed from below. It's probably a plank, and they used a plywood, but it's a thicker plywood. Really not a big deal. It's covering it, but the sharp edges that'll just kind of lead to wear and tear over time. It'll degrade a little faster. I'm happy with the way they flashed this chimney. They used mortar and did it right and sunk that flashing into the mortar joints. It's a common mistake that I find all the time. Problem being, though, is that it's an older, this house was built. I didn't get the exact details. Probably early 1900s, maybe even earlier. But you have some degrading there. Those mortar joints. There's no rain cap on here. I'm not sure what's exhausted into here yet. I haven't been down. This is the first place I stopped. But it's an unlined chimney. You can see it's brick. There's fireplaces that have been boarded up. I definitely wouldn't recommend uncovering those and using them then. See the same issue here on this box gutter. But they never even trimmed it in. So maybe they were planning on putting a regular aluminum gutter in. Now this lining for this box gutter's been redone. It just rained last night and early this morning. And there's a lot of roof here. See the new plumbing boots. They're in good shape. I'd like to see some roofing tar over the nail heads. But my biggest issue with the roof is that it's sealed up very tight. It's a gable roof. There's no gable vent. There's no ridge cap, and there's no roof vent. So my biggest issue here is that adequate ventilation for the attic. I would like to see a whole ridge cap put in here just to ventilate the attic a little better. So it'll be a recommendation that I make. And also, this box cutter here is degraded so bad, you can see. Yeah, there's no protection from the elements at all. It's like they just stopped short. Maybe they intended to do more, but they just stopped. And you can see water as it cascades down off this roof. It'll just pour right into that lining. And underneath, and I'll show you some pictures, it's actually the aluminum trim underneath is holding water. So I recommend that be relined.